And if you don't know, my mom was originally on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, so I've been featured on Bravo a few times, but this is my first time being the main character.
Riley just did the unthinkable. She called out her own mother, Kandi Burruss, in a raw, no-holds-barred confession that has fans absolutely stunned. She laid it all out there, talking about the cracks in their relationship, opening up about emotional neglect, and even accusing her mom of lying. Yeah, lying. This isn't the Riley we've known, and honestly, after this, you might not see Kandi the same way again. Fans have been waiting for something like this for years. Kandi Burruss, the powerhouse singer, business mogul, and Real Housewives of Atlanta icon, has built her image on loyalty, hustle, and family first. And Riley, she's always been in the background, quiet, respectful, supportive. But not anymore. In a shocking twist, she's breaking her silence and sharing her side of the story. No cameras, no Bravo edits, just the unfiltered truth.
I'm supporting from afar, and you know my daughter Riley is going to be on a new show coming to Bravo, Next Gen. They just announced it last week. Yeah, so I hope you guys support my daughter Riley Burruss. Y'all seen her grow up on The Real Housewives, and now she's going to be on a new show. It's coming June 3rd, so check her out too.
What tips did you give her about entering? I mean, obviously she's a part of reality television in the past, but to a different level.
Yeah, it's a different level, and so I told her, when you're filming, stand on everything you say. Don't ever go back and try to act like you didn't say something so they can rewind the tape on you.
Roll the tape.
You have to own it, stand on it. And if you need to apologize, but don't lie about saying stuff.
Absolutely.
Because we be having a lot of liars on those shows, you know. We don't want to be, no.
Let's just say, this completely flips the image of family unity we've all been sold for years. From claims of being used as a branding tool to raw admissions about feeling ignored and emotionally sidelined, Riley is not holding back. She's no longer hiding behind her mom's fame or public persona. Nope, she's stepping out on her own, speaking her truth loud and clear. And what she's saying is cracking the glossy surface of the Burruss empire in a way fans never saw coming. So now the questions are flying. What really went down behind closed doors? How deep is the emotional distance between Kandi and Riley? And what finally pushed Riley to speak out, like publicly and unapologetically? Stick around, because we're breaking all down. Every emotional trigger, every bold claim, and how this could seriously shake up Kandi's image and the brand she's built over the years. Oh, and just wait till you hear what Riley said about Todd Tucker's role in all of this. Yeah, this is where things really get interesting. From the outside looking in, Riley Burruss looked like she had it all: fame, money, opportunities most people only dream of. Her childhood played out under the spotlight, red carpets, reality TV, celebrity brunches. But now, in a brutally honest video that's blown up on TikTok and Instagram, Riley is showing us a very different version of her story. And spoiler, it's not about love and peace, it's about pressure and performance. She didn't sugarcoat anything, she started by laying it out. People assume that having a successful mom means you've got a happy home. But for me, success came with a ton of pressure. I didn't ask for it. I was born into her brand. I didn't choose it. According to Riley, even as a kid, she felt like her identity was completely wrapped up in her mom's image. Every event, every filmed scene on Real Housewives of Atlanta, every post, it wasn't about who Riley was. It was about how she fit into Kandi's story. She said she felt more like a side character in her mother's career than a daughter with her own voice and dreams. And then, this is where it really hits. Riley says a lot of that glamorous, luxury lifestyle that came with conditions.
It's been about a year since you announced you were leaving Housewives. Did you have any FOMO or regret knowing cameras were back up, or is it all that chapter is closed and you've moved on?
Actually, I feel like it's closed for me and I moved on. I thought to myself when I was first making the decision, I was kind of like, ugh, is this smart? Like, am I doing the right thing? And anytime you've done something for...
People expected Riley to show up, but almost no one cared how she felt when she did. I didn't always want to be on camera, she shared. I was going through personal stuff, school stress, drama with phase, anxiety, but none of that mattered. I had to look perfect, smile, show up, protect the image. But what was going on behind the scenes? Totally different story. Saying he's gonna keep speaking, he say Riley was always the quiet one, the girl in the background, just observing. But the truth, she was picking up everything. That silence eventually became heavy, especially when she hit her teen years and people online were judging her body, her voice, and even her relationship with her dad, Russell, Block, Spencer. Sure, Kandi often stood up for Riley in public, but Riley says that behind the scenes it didn't feel the same. I appreciated when my mom defended me on TV or Instagram. She said, but what about when the cameras weren't rolling? What about the nights I cried alone, overwhelmed with my dad's drama, feeling like I had to be strong so she wouldn't look weak? That one quote set social media on fire. It revealed the emotional tightrope Riley was walking, being a daughter, but also he's going to official protector of her mom's public image, a kid forced to carry adult emotions in silence. People used to think Riley was just shy or distant, but now it's clear she was carrying trauma all along. And then came the part that really stopped people in their tracks. Riley said things got worse when Todd Tucker entered the picture. Not only did her emotional needs start getting ignored, she felt like someone else's needs were taking priority over hers. So what changed when Todd moved into the Burruss household for good? Riley says her already fragile connection with Kandi took a hit. Those early years were already full of quiet pressure, but her teen years brought something new, a sudden shift in loyalty, energy, and attention, all of it centered around one named Todd Tucker. Their 2014 marriage was painted as a fairy tale, love, unity, a blended family success story. But according to Riley, that glossy picture, totally fake. In her now viral voice recording, Riley said, "That's when everything changed. I didn't just lose interest, I lost connection. The house didn't feel like mine anymore. And here's where it really stings. Todd didn't just marry my mom," she said. He got involved in everything, from family finances to parenting decisions to the personal conversations I used to have with her. Rumors about tension between Riley and Todd had been swirling for years, but this was the first time she laid it out in public, and it was rough. She said Todd tried to emotionally discipline her by calling her spoiled, entitled, or disrespectful just for sharing how she felt. He was cold, rude, sometimes even manipulative, she said. And then came the mic drop moment. "I didn't need a second dad. I needed my mom, but whenever I tried to speak up, it turned into Riley doesn't respect authority." It became a power struggle, not a moment of care. The fans of Real Housewives of Atlanta may recall seeing Riley look uncomfortable or distant around Todd. Back then, people thought it was just teen angst. But now, those moments feel way more telling. Riley said she tried, again and again, to talk to Kandi about it, but every time, her mom defended Todd. "I'd cry, trying to explain how I felt ignored, left out, even bullied in my own home. But all I got was that Todd means well, you just need to adjust." Eventually, she stopped talking. That silence turned into distance. Riley began spending more time away from home, focusing on school, friends, college, anything to escape feeling like a guest in her own family. Then came the moment that devastated fans. During a heated off-camera argument, Todd allegedly told her, "You'll understand when you're older. You're not a priority right now." Riley said that line broke her. Sai's going to keep speaking his mind or over piece from before he came into the picture. "And my mom, she didn't say a word." She calls that moment the beginning of her emotional divorce from Kandi, not from Todd, but from her own mother. Riley says she realized Kandi had chosen to protect her marriage, even if it meant sacrificing her daughter's mental health. Now, years later, Riley is giving us a painful glimpse into what it was like growing up inside one of TV's most famous families and feeling completely unseen. And if you thought that was heavy, wait until part 3, because this is where it goes from sad to deeply disturbing. Riley said, "I felt like I was being treated like a product." That's right. She claimed everything she did, every appearance, every social media post, even parts of the reality show, was engineered, not for her growth but for ratings, for brand deals. She recalled being pressured to do photo shoots, promo posts, even scripted scenes for Real Housewives of Atlanta, all to support the Burruss brand. "I didn't want to post. I didn't want to be on camera. I just wanted to be left alone. But I'd hear saying this will be good for the show, or this makes the brand look strong." Even her college announcement, something that should have been a proud, personal milestone, was turned into a PR campaign. Kandi's team worked with producers, magazines, even sponsors to frame Riley as the smart, focused daughter of a supermom. "It wasn't about my journey," she said. "It was about making her look like a great mother. I was just the symbol." And fans, they're now rewatching RH clips with totally different eyes, especially that scene where Kandi gifts Riley a luxury car for college. Was that about celebrating Riley or flexing wealth and control? And then there's the most chilling part of her story. Riley says she was pressured to hide her feelings during big public moments. "People said I looked cold or disconnected, but that's because I was. I was told not to cry, not to speak up, not to ruin the family image. I wasn't allowed to be myself." This hit the internet like a bombshell. Some longtime Kandi fans were torn, some defended her, others accused Riley of being ungrateful. But here's what shut down even the critics. Riley recalled breaking down in private, begging her mom to stop putting so much pressure on her for the sake of appearances. Kandi's response, "I've sacrificed so much to give you a life most kids would kill for. Don't ruin it now." That moment made Riley go cold. That's when I stopped being her daughter, she said, and started being her pattern. Fans are calling this Riley's Kardashian moment, where the mask slips and the cost of fame becomes painfully real. But if you think this was the end, buckle up, because in part 4 of her tell-all, Riley's going his open up about how online hate led to depression and why she believes her mom didn't protect her when it mattered most. Riley said the emotional pressure from fame was one thing, but the digital world made it unbearable. At just 16, she was body shamed online after a RHOA episode where she appeared quiet and withdrawn. People called her spoiled, ungrateful, said she didn't love her mom. I'd go into my room and cry, she said through tears. People didn't know me, they didn't care. And the only person who could have stood up for me, my mom, stayed silent, but she waited. Day after day, Kandi kept posting about her show's music, friends, but never said a word in Riley's defense. I felt like I was being sacrificed for her peace. And when Riley finally asked why Kandi didn't speak up, her mom allegedly speak up. We can't feed into negativity, Riley. That's how the trolls win. But to Riley, that wasn't strength. That was abandonment. Who wasn't about trolls. It was about me. I needed her to fight for me, with her voice, not her lawyers. But she chose silence over my mental health. That silence cut deep. Riley started skipping interviews, avoiding filming, and completely left social media. Friends say she was depressed, struggling with self-esteem, even thinking about quitting school because she didn't feel seen. I didn't even know who I was outside of being Kandi's daughter, she admitted. And then she said something that left everyone speechless. I felt like I had no voice, no reason to be there, no one to protect me. I started wondering, if I disappeared, would anyone even care? Or would it just mess up the family brand? That silence at the end of her interview was deafening. The comments flooded in, support, heartbreak, anger, and over, the same question: why didn't Kandi Burruss stand up for her daughter? Some say Kandi was trying to protect Riley by staying out of the mess. But others pointed out, Kandi's never been afraid to clap back at haters when she's attacked. So why the silence when it was her daughter? We're finally seeing the cost of growing up in the spotlight. And in Riley's case, fame didn't protect her, it nearly broke her.